Imagine opening your eyes one morning and realizing that nothing stirs your soul anymore. The things that once filled you with joy now seem hollow. Hobbies that once thrilled you feel like monotonous tasks. Conversations that used to feel alive now appear repetitive and devoid of meaning. Even pleasures like movies, music, and social gatherings fail to awaken the spark they once ignited. You begin searching for stimulation, anything that might break this numbness, but nothing truly satisfies. An eerie emptiness takes root, and you start to wonder, is this all life has to offer? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This feeling is far more common than we acknowledge, yet few grasp its true origin. At first, it may seem like simple boredom or fatigue. But what if the sensation runs deeper? What if it's not a problem to dismiss, but a message we need to hear? Today, we're diving into this experience, not just at the surface level, but deep into the human psyche and philosophy. Why does life sometimes lose its meaning? What invisible forces are shaping this emotional numbness? And most importantly, how can we overcome it and reconnect with passion, meaning, and purpose? By the end of this video, you'll discover a powerful truth, one that can reshape not only your feelings, but your entire perspective on life. Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, a pioneering thinker of the 20th century, dedicated his life to exploring the human experience. He believed that losing touch with meaning isn't about boredom. It's a cry from the unconscious, a sign that we've lost connection with ourselves, our desires, and our inner need to grow. Society shapes us early on. We're taught that happiness lies in external success. Good grades, a solid career, financial stability, and recognition. We're led to believe that fulfillment comes from following the expected path. And for a while, that might seem true. But what happens when you check all the boxes and still feel empty? Jung saw this moment not as failure, but as an invitation, an opportunity to go beyond shallow pleasures and begin a deeper process of self-discovery. He called this the path of individuation, the journey of uncovering our true self, free from societal programming. But most people avoid this path. When they feel empty, they chase new distractions, hobbies, entertainment, experiences. They're afraid of stillness, because stillness forces us to face uncomfortable truths. And yet, it is only in this space of reflection that the real way forward begins to emerge. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly felt alive, not just entertained or busy, but completely present and engaged? If you can't recall, it may be because you've outgrown the parts of your identity that once defined you. This emptiness is not a defect. It's not shameful. It's a sign that something within you is shifting. You're evolving, and growth brings discomfort. The things that once brought joy no longer resonate because you're being called to seek something deeper. Before we can rekindle meaning, we need to understand what's fueling this disconnection. Psychological patterns, social conditioning, even biology all contribute to how we experience life. Unless we confront these forces, we'll remain stuck, searching for meaning in all the wrong places. In the next part, we'll explore these hidden influences and begin mapping the way out, not toward temporary happiness, but toward a life that feels truly meaningful. What if the emptiness you feel isn't a problem, but a signal? A call from deep within asking for your attention? Yet most people ignore it. They bury themselves in distractions, streaming content, endless scrolling, impulsive choices, hoping to escape the void. But it always returns. Jung believed that emotional emptiness comes from disconnection, not from life, but from our inner world. He called this the suppression of the self, the loss of contact with the truest version of who we are. Modern psychology echoes this. Studies show that when we lack a personal sense of meaning, we're more prone to depression, anxiety, and numbness. The mind needs purpose. Without it, we become emotionally stuck, trapped in routines that bring no real joy. Where does this disconnect come from? Society programs us from childhood to pursue safety and productivity. We're praised for achievements, not for self-awareness. So, we build lives that look successful, but feel empty. In time, the cracks begin to show. What once thrilled us becomes dull. Our goals lose meaning. Something feels missing, but we can't name it. Jung saw this as a turning point. Yet many people, faced with this inner void, look outward. They switch jobs, move cities, change partners, searching for something external to fix the internal void. But it never works, because the real issue lies within. This emotional numbness is often a sign of identity crisis. You no longer relate to who you were, but haven't yet discovered who you're becoming. You're at the threshold of transformation, but crossing it requires stillness. And that scares people. Stillness exposes us to uncomfortable truths, hidden desires, unresolved pain, untapped potential. But it's necessary. Only by facing ourselves can we rediscover what truly matters. That's why Jung emphasized introspection. To move beyond emptiness, we must ask hard questions. Who am I beyond accomplishments? What genuinely excites me? What have I been avoiding? These questions are difficult, but they hold the key. Because meaning isn't something the world gives us. It's something we create. So when was the last time you truly explored your own mind? Not as a worker, or a partner, or a friend, but as a curious, unique individual? When was the last time you let your curiosity lead the way? One of modern life's greatest tragedies is that we stop being curious. We fall into routines that slowly drain our vitality. We mistake stability for fulfillment. But there is a way out. To reignite meaning, we must shift perspective. Instead of fearing emptiness, we must see it as a doorway, an invitation to transformation. But what lies on the other side? How do we move from numbness to renewal? In the next section, we'll explore real practical steps to help you reconnect with meaning and passion, not just in theory, but in your everyday life. Because this phase of emptiness might not be a dead end. It could be the beginning of your most important transformation. There are moments in life when the world seems to lose its color. What once sparked joy becomes routine. What once inspired now feels dull. But what if the solution isn't out there, but inside you? Carl Jung believed that emotional numbness is a message from the unconscious. He called the solution individuation, the journey of becoming your authentic self. Most people resist this path. They cling to old versions of themselves, afraid of change, even when staying the same hurts. But here's the truth. When life feels empty, it's often because you've outgrown what used to fulfill you. Just like a snake sheds its skin, you must let go of who you were to become who you are meant to be. This discomfort is not a flaw. It's a signal that you're ready for something deeper. Still, most avoid this truth. They chase new experiences, buy things, surround themselves with noise, trying to escape the emptiness. But the answer is never out there. Ask yourself, how often do you sit with your thoughts? How often do you reflect on what you truly want, beyond expectations or social norms? The modern world keeps us overstimulated. Constant input dulls our sense of wonder. Over time, we become numb. Jung warned us. True fulfillment comes from within. We must stop suppressing our deeper needs for purpose, for expression, for truth. So how do we break free? It begins with conscious action. First, create space for stillness. Sit in silence. Let thoughts come. Observe them. This is where clarity begins. Second, explore without pressure. Let curiosity guide you. Read something random. Try something new. Curiosity leads to rediscovery. Third, revisit past joys. Think about what once made you feel alive. Try those things again, without expectation. And finally, embrace transformation. Let go of the life you once wanted if it no longer serves you. Change is not the enemy. It's the path to your deeper self. And if you've tried all of this, and still feel lost, know this. The final truth about meaning is simple. Meaning is not something you find. It's something you create. Let's go deeper. When we talk about creating meaning, it's not about forcing ourselves to enjoy things or pretending to be inspired. True meaning is not artificial. It emerges naturally when we are aligned with who we really are. And that alignment takes time. It begins by asking ourselves honest questions and being willing to sit with uncomfortable answers. Most people avoid this kind of self-inquiry, not because they're weak, but because it's hard. It's much easier to stay busy, to distract ourselves, than to confront what's missing in our lives. But the truth is, there's no shortcut to meaning. You can't skip the discomfort. You have to go through it. And through that process, through that raw honesty, a kind of magic begins to unfold. You start noticing what lights you up again. You begin to hear your own voice beneath the noise of the world. This is the beginning of real freedom. You stop chasing what others told you would bring happiness, and you start listening to what your soul has been asking for all along. Sometimes that means making hard choices. It might mean walking away from a career, a lifestyle, or even a relationship that no longer reflects who you are becoming. It might mean starting over, not because you failed, but because you've outgrown your old life. That's terrifying, and yet it's also powerful, because only when we let go of the old can we create space for the new. You might be thinking, what if I don't know where to begin? What if I've spent so long feeling lost that I don't even know what excites me anymore? Start small. Meaning doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from presence, from intention, from choosing to engage with the world, even in the tiniest ways. Take a walk in silence and really look at the world around you. Watch how light hits a wall. Listen to the rhythm of your breathing. Write down a single thought that feels true to you. Paint, dance, sing badly in the shower. Read something that stirs your mind. You don't need to have it all figured out to begin. You just need to begin. And as you take small, intentional steps, something beautiful starts to happen. The fog begins to lift. You begin to feel again. You begin to care. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, life starts to feel vibrant again. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer numb, you're alive. And being alive is messy, it's uncertain, it's often uncomfortable, but it's also the most meaningful thing you can ever be. So if you're in a place right now where nothing excites you, where everything feels gray and hollow, don't run from it. Don't bury it. Sit with it. Listen to what it's trying to show you. Because buried beneath that emptiness isn't a void, it's a doorway. And what's on the other side of that doorway is you. The real you. The one who isn't defined by titles or roles or expectations. The one who dreams, who feels, who creates, who grows. The one who's been waiting patiently for you to return. This is the turning point. Not the moment where everything magically changes, but the moment where you choose to change. Where you stop looking. Because the life you're meant to live isn't out there somewhere. It's within you. And the meaning you're searching for isn't lost. It's waiting for you to create it. So take a deep breath, start small, and step forward.